success. Now never steps me, know it's your faithfulness.
My love's not far from you.
something broken whole again. I remember when you were my only friend and I thought that
Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Deeper Dive. We love that you're here with us. The Live is Live audience in all of Tampa Bay is in the building. The staff is here with us. You're here with us, and we love that you are. The Deeper Dive gives us the opportunity to attend to the things that God has said to us as we determine to be people who are most blessed, most blessed indeed. Pastor Brian is in the building. Pastor Brian is here with us this morning. Good morning, Pastor Brian.
What's happening, Pastor Lamar?
When I said that, I was thinking about, I know part of your family was in Orlando this weekend.
Yeah.
You held it down. You've been with us all weekend.
Listen. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and now
sir.
you're here with us this morning.
Yes, sir.
And we're ready to take a deeper dive into the message, New Life.
New life.
New Life.
We probably should name it New Life.
New Life.
New.
I like that.
You right.
New Life. Yeah.
Everything fresh.
Fresh.
Everything fresh.
Everything fresh. That's it.
Name change. Everything fresh.
If it can't be
Everything fresh.
the title of the message, it could be the title of this deeper dive. Everything fresh.
No, I like to change the message title to Everything
There we go.
Fresh.
Everything fresh. One or the other. It works.
Everything fresh.
Everything fresh.
I like that.
Yep. That's a declaration, another declaration that we have for this year. We will live holy. We will love His church. And we will live boldly.
Yeah.
And this new life that we've been given calls for us to do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to sharing
Yeah.
the new life with others.
Yes, sir.
We can do it boldly.
We can do it boldly.
Right.
Yes, sir. I'm excited about that.
Me too.
I'm excited because there's underneath the presentation is some really fundamental things about our walk with Christ, the gift of salvation, and just what it means to be a Christian. I think I know I say this a lot, but I'm like, man, the experiment's over, right?
Right.
So many times we're seeking greater and something new, and really we're lacking a sense of the greatness that we have, and it's like, man, are we underappreciating the gift? And I would say we are. When I speak to a lot of Christians, a lot of believers, I'm like, man, you haven't rightly appropriated the gift of salvation.
Right.
You haven't really understood what that meant. And so you can find yourself looking for more simply because you haven't extracted all of the value out of what has happened. And that's kind of where we started, on Sunday. It's just like, man, you got to understand how blessed you are.
Right.
And I know we say that a lot, but underneath that saying, we're sharing truth of why. I know a lot of people stop there. You're so blessed. I'm not just shouting it at you. We're not just saying it, but really going through and articulating why you were so blessed.
Yeah.
Why you were so privileged, and why you should just, no matter what you are seeing naturally, should live with such an incredible amount of just joy and peace and a real hope, And so that's kind of the whole new life thing, right?
Got it. This world does a great job of marketing its cares to us. We know the scripture says that it's the cares of the world that choke out the word.
Yeah.
The word. So as you're talking, I mean, we live in today we can get so tangled up in the cares of the world that we do overlook the blessing that we've been given.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I like how you use the word fundamental. There's some things that are fundamental that go into this new life, new creation. And I like that you said fundamental, because when we look at what Philip did in Acts 8, he did it so naturally. Like, he didn't have a plan to go and talk to the eunuch. There was no plan. Like, it was just him being a believer. He just got a download of this awesome power.
Yeah.
The gospel really came to life
Yeah.
to him after seeing Christ resurrected, and he was doing his thing.
Yeah.
It's like he's just living off the fundamentals of what it meant to be a new believer.
Yeah. And have access to, I was access to the voice of God, to finish that sentence, and what that means. And I was watching this video, and someone came. They were just having a conversation. The guy was like, "Man, I'm kind of been struggling with something." And so the guy said, "So what are you struggling with?" He said, "Man, God told me to do X, Y, and Z." He said, "Who told you?" He said, "God told you." He said, "Who told you?" He said, "God told me." He said, who told you?" He said, "God told you." He says, "I want you to think about what you just said, and think about why you shouldn't have a care in this world." Like God told you something. Do you know what it takes for that to even take place?
Yeah.
You know, do you understand the extent of your the peace you should have due to the voice that's living on the inside of you?
Right.
It was like you're trying to get him to say, like, why are you worried about figuring out the clarity of something that the access alone
Right.
is worth the
It's
worth you
victory.
not caring about anything else.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
you know,
That's good.
it's almost like man, I'm trying to put too much of my business on the street, but well, I guess it is the example I have in my head right now, but it's real. So man, I like, things have changed, evolved so much, and it's the favor of God in every single way. But I had a thought. I was like, man, you know what? I've been going in between whether I want to get a new truck, do I want to fix the truck I have. And so then yesterday I just kind of casually said, man, I'm thinking about getting a new truck, you know, and within 5 minutes, and with the people I was around, I had 3 phone numbers of the owners of dealerships at Ford, Dodge, and GMC.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if you want a new truck, here's the owners of these dealerships. Here are their numbers. Literally sat in that same space, text all of them the VIN number to my truck, and they're like, here,
Wow.
by the end of the day, we'll send you the best deal we can make, right? Like, just on the thought, right?
Right.
And so I'm simply saying, man, that almost like in that same way, imagine that being the same access you have to God, to where he says, present your request before me. Like, think about that.
Right.
Like, that's
Yeah.
that's like, man, I'm thinking I might want to move somewhere, and you're like, well, God, what do you think about that? That's like thinking you want a vehicle and then having access to all the owners of who sell this product, and they're like, we'll send you the best deal. What are you worried about? There's nothing to worry about here. It's equivalent. The creator of the heavens and the earth, like, is on speed dial. Right. Have you considered the access? You're like, man, but I'm not sure which one I want to pick. But you presented it. Like, do you not know that you're about to receive the best arrangement possible? Like, just choose which one you want. And if you don't like none of them, just don't choose none of them.
Yeah.
But what I'm simply saying is you can skip over that. Like, 5 years ago, man, I would have had to walked into the dealership and
Kick some tires.
kick some tires and
Yeah.
wheel and deal, and you know what I'm saying, put on your game face and all this other stuff. And before you had God in your life, you didn't have anybody to talk to about it. You didn't have anybody that could put favor on that. You didn't have anybody who could send people your way. You didn't. You were alone. I love what the Bible says. You were in this world without hope.
Yeah. Right.
Like, you were. You had the same request with no hope. Do you not remember what that felt like?
Right.
Man, you can't forget. But we're in this world with hope.
Yeah.
And that right there, man, shoot. That's that new life.
Right.
This is that new life that we have. Right?
Yeah. That's good. As you were talking, there were moments I was like, man, like, literally, like, slow down. Because I think that's what happens in this, again, in this culture. We're just so fast paced. We do skip over a lot. We skip over a lot. I mean, even on a day-to-day basis throughout your day, how many things that God do for you or say to you, and you just skipped over it and went to the next. We in this fast-paced just habit of getting to the next thing.
Yeah. Because, shoot, there's a lot I could say to that, but before we go there, I would say you're absolutely right. Like, we're in a season where we have to redo our extraction processes, if I can say it that way. To where it's like, no,
or even break that down.
So extraction, right? Like, if you look at a food processor, someone's like, oh man, I could buy a food processor for $15. Then they got food processors that cost $300, and you're like, yo, what's the difference? Aren't they all just turning that fruit into juice? And like, no. See, the blades in that one have been tuned, and the speed in it knows how to extract in a way to where everything a part of that fruit comes out for your benefit.
What's the word, Pastor Greg? Pastor Greg has a word for that, and he pronounces it very well. I hope he could come and say it. But keep going, and we get his word.
We'll get his word.
Yeah.
But I'm simply saying, like, you want to be.
There it is. What, masticating? Yes, sir. That's the word right there. That's what it does.
What was that?
Masticating. That's what it does.
I'm gonna skip that.
The $15 one doesn't do that. That's a $300 one that does that.
Okay. I'm gonna let y'all have.
I just had to put it in. There's some juicers listening.
No, I'm all right with that. I'm gonna use
That's
my
the one.
word.
The one you got does that, and it extracts.
Yeah.
Go
It
ahead.
extracts.
It takes out all the good stuff.
All that you want.
Yeah.
Right. And so, point being, right, what have you extracted out of the exchange that God made for your life? Like, what have you extracted from it? And many people, I found that the first step right now, saying, how do I start the process of appreciating what has happened to me? First is stop taking responsibility of things you weren't responsible for, right? Number one, you didn't choose God, God chose you, right? Somewhere in the course of life, believers start taking responsibility over their salvation. Like, I chose God, or man, it was what I did, and all. And like, no, all of that starts where you become numb to and become to lessen how great and how awesome it is, and what is available through extracting the thought that I was chosen. When you start to take the thought of I was chosen by God and extract it for all of his goodness, you know what that does to your everyday walking around life? When you realize that you didn't choose him, but he chose you, it immediately freezes anything that you think that's like, yo, man, I don't know why this is happening, why that's going on, man. I don't know what's going to happen with my life. And then you sit down and extract from that thought. You start to peel away the layers that, like, you know what, there's 9 billion people walking around on this earth, and God said, you know what, I want you. Yeah. And that right there makes me like, I may not know what the future holds, but clearly there's something bigger than what I'm experiencing now, because the creator of the heavens and the earth called me out of darkness into his marvelous light, and saw something in me that he placed in me that maybe I don't have clear sight of, but he chose me in a time such as this. And so even though I don't know what it is, it has to be something incredible. And I don't even have to have full view of what it is for me to be excited about what it could possibly be, because the Bible tells us that, man, the thoughts that he has of us are good and not of evil. And I'm just extracting the thought that I was chosen. I could be facing, a prison sentence, but you chose me, right? You chose me. You selected me. I may not know why, but I know somewhere along this course of my life living, you're going to expose something. I know because I've been chosen that you have now taken over my life, and you're ordering my steps, and man, you're working things together for my good. You promise even the things I don't do right, that you're going to work them together for my good. The things I do right, you're going to work them things together for my good. All of this is just extracting from the thought that I was chosen.
Yeah, that's good.
That you had many options. You have numerous options, but you chose me. And when you realize that to be chosen, you have to have faith. And when you start to give that back, Like I didn't, some people go, man, I'm growing my faith. You can't grow your faith. Man, only thing you can do is submit to the faith that you have, right? Like I tell people all the time, I don't know why people think that. I said, listen, man, I know that maybe when people explain faith, it feels like you're going to incredible, powerful place. I said, but take it from someone who's lived it. Like faith is one of the most submissive and humbling experiences you can have in life. It says, regardless of what I see, think, or know, I'll trust what he said. Yeah. It's putting a voice over, in most cases, literal reality, right? Like, and that's so humbling. Like faith will humble you in ways that you can't even express. Like, you know what? Everything in me says that I should go left. Everything in me says that this is over. But man, God said, yeah, it's not done. And so here I am, and everybody can be speaking against it. And you walk into rooms sometimes with the word from God speaking to faces that don't even look like they want to be there, and you got to 10 toes down, be like, no, I know what he said, and move on forward. You gotta, and it's so humbling because you can't control what happens next. You can't.
Humbling because you're submitting, you're falling back into God's care of you, God's ability.
Humbling because you're putting your reputation on the line. You're putting your, and of course the Bible says make yourself no reputation, but many of us got one. But it's humbling because you're having to often live out a truth that many people can't co-sign with, right? You're having to, man, I mean, I can use from Sunday, right? I like meeting people, maybe this skips over their head, but like for myself having to live it out, I was like, man, Brian, are you really gonna say this? Like just that's like hey man, we normally do baptisms during worship, but God told me to do it at the end because there's people in this room that you're gonna get into this tank fully dressed as a result of what God has to share with us today. Some people might say, oh man, you just was, man, that's wild. Yeah. Right? It's and what if people like listen, I looked over to the right, I had them raise their hands. Who all here is be baptized? You got 4 people on the right side of the sanctuary raising their hands, right? There's 4 of them over there. Right? There's 4 intended people here to get baptized.
4 people dressed, ready with towels to be baptized.
Right, to be baptized. But God said, no. A word you haven't heard, right, is about to go forth. And he says that it's sharp enough to where what he wants to see happen is going to happen. Then we start moving, right?
Right.
The word starts going. And then you get to a point and he's like, yo, this is enough. Make the call. Right? Like, I don't know if this is enough. And I don't know if anybody else is joining in the party. Right. There goes that word again. So then, I'm simply saying to think that the thought of no one might not come, right, and how embarrassing that would be, like to think that thought wasn't presented to me before that statement was said, you're lying. Right. And I'm saying we all got that same, like, no one's above that second thought coming in, but it's like, no, God, I know what you said, and it's very humbling because I have no control over that, and man, but yeah.
That reminds me of what you said about not waiting till it's perfect to present it. Just
yeah, and absolutely, and all of those things are, which when we kind of start a new series, it's like you get these anchoring blocks that are going to be further exposed and explored, and that's definitely one of them. When you're talking about not waiting till it's perfect to be presented, you know, mainly because, and I said this in the opening, just saying, man, what are two questions that went into what is about to happen. The first question was, man, God, what are we doing as a church that's pleasing to you? And God, what are we doing as a church that's disappointing to you? You know, what was pleasing to God, and he said, you know, when I asked him the question, he said, man, what's pleasing me is people are freeing themselves. They're accepting their own, you know, forgiveness, and they're starting to walk and experience the grace and the love I have for them. What's disappointing God right now? They're not sharing that. And I'm like, okay, God, why are they not sharing it? He's like, because they're waiting for their walk to be perfect. They're waiting for their presentation to be perfect. They're waiting for this lining up of scenarios and situations before they decide to share in what they are enjoying. You know, I would say it's almost like, you know, I'll be seeing a lot of different examples and everything. You know, I was at a party this weekend. Man, that word party.
Okay.
But I was at a celebration this weekend, and there was a cake there, and the cake was so good. And you had two different type of people. You had people standing to the side waiting for plates so that they can get the cake served to them. And then you had another line of folks that was like, yo, put it on a napkin. You know, like, bro, I don't need the plate. Like, put it on the napkin. What I'm saying is you have two types of Christians, people who are waiting for plates so that they can eat the cake, and ones that are like, yo, just put it on the napkin. It's not going to change the cake. What I'm saying is, you know, are you waiting for something to present who you are on that shows you in this great way? Or are you just willing to serve it on a napkin? Just serve your life as it is let God speak for you, through you. Like, you don't need this whole thing in order for the cake. The cake ain't gonna change flavor. Like, you know what I'm saying? The work ain't gonna change flavor. Like, but you're trying to wrap it in something that makes it whatever to people who don't even need it. You know, and it's like
they're gonna tear the packaging up anyway.
They're gonna tear the packaging up anyway. Like it's and so I'm saying that to say, because it's I feel like that's what God has us walking through. I know a lot of times people say stuff, you hear the things and they're like, man, how are you living through that? You know, we talked about this at the beginning of the year. We wouldn't normally release a series until you've seen all these new graphics all over the screen and you got all this other stuff going on. And this year God was like, no, just give them the cake, boss. Like sit up, like just share what I'm saying. Like let the cake be the cake. And I'm saying this because a lot of times people just think you're saying stuff that you're not living. No, we are actively living it, to where it's like we would have normally been like, all right, so this is what God wants to say. Let's sit around plan on how we're gonna have this going on and this music line up with it and this and this and this. And God was like, no, boss, give them the cake. You know, and I'm saying that's this year, right? Like, let God do the infinitely more. Let God touch it. Let God, man, form it. Let God grow it, man. Just get out there, right? People are desperate. And we're over here waiting for fine china to serve hungry people. And they're like, bro, that china doesn't change the food. Give me the food, you know?
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
But all the way around, you know, we've taken, man, and I think it's so good, right? You know, we started the New Life classes.
We trying to put meals on fine china to feed hungry, starving people.
Wow. And so that's why, man, we started the Bible studies.
Right.
Nah, man, take it off the china, man. We're going to go over here. We're going to talk about studying His Word. Yeah. How to do this, right? We started New Life classes. Take off that china, man. We're going to do that thing next week. You know, like all those dates that would normally delay things, we're like, no, boss, let's do it. You know, let's go. And let's allow the Spirit of God to show himself evident and present in our lives. Let's allow the Spirit of God to surprise us sometimes. You know, let's just go in there, man.
That's good.
Let's go.
That reminds me of the story of Coach.